Welcome, everyone. Happy Monday. Welcome to the Franchise Empire newsletter. What's up, Kevin?
Happy Monday. How are you?
Good. You got the black tee on today.
I do. Yeah, you inspired me.
Hey, black looks good on you. I'm not used to seeing you in black.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. Yeah, my wife bought me some new tees, so
Nice. Nice. Kevin and I were talking about black t-shirts. I have my gray one on today. It is next level. But basically, kind of what we were talking about is I've basically been wearing a black t-shirt almost every day. The not having to think about what to wear,
yeah.
that sounds really weird saying that as a man, but there is decision fatigue is a real thing. It is a real thing. So
Yeah, I
you have
usually
to
wear
think
like
about
the same rotation of polos, but now I'll just throw in some t-shirts into the mix, I guess.
it. Heck yeah. Keep it easy. All right, y'all. I'm gonna share my screen. And as I'm doing that, just a reminder, if you are not already you can get these in your inbox on Sunday mornings. If you go to franchiseempire.com/newsletter, then you can get the email version of this. I think we send it out at 8 a.m. on Sundays. So I'm actually I'm going to start not reading this part anymore. And we're just going to dive into what what we're talking about in the franchises. So if you do want to see that message that I put, at the top of the newsletter every week, there's a specific, insight or kind of learning lesson or piece of advice, then you'll need to make sure to be subscribed to the newsletter in order to catch that, which I would highly recommend. But today, we're going to cover one franchise resale that shows 156,000 in cash flow. An interesting franchise that averages sales of 1.1 million, and a client who bought a resale painting franchise, as well as the latest episode of the Franchise Empire show. Keep in mind, we have the asterisks here. We're just trying to stay compliant, which is, the only reason we can say this is because it's based on an existing resale that shows that performance. You would see the financials prior to, but obviously, in order to see like normal performance, you would need to look at the FDD. But boom, yeah, tell us, Kevin, about this first resale.
Yeah, so I think the testimonial is also Liz, who bought Serta Pro, but Serta Pro is a really good franchise. I think we've talked about it before. I don't mind showing resales again for them because I think it's just a really solid brand overall. But they're a painting franchise. They do residential and commercial paint. They do both interior and exterior painting services. So been around since 1992. They have nearly 500 franchise units throughout the country. They're massive. One of the top ranked home services franchises in the industry. So really like Serta Pro. I've worked with them a few times and have been impressed with their team and their process. And so yeah, this particular resale is in Lubbock, Texas. So if you happen to be in the Lubbock area, reach out. But this location has been around since 2016. They have an asking price of $475,000, and that's based on the last 12 months revenue of 1.3 million. Like Tarek mentioned, the cash flow is around 156,000. So, again, any caveat to these resales is that reach out to us. We can get some more information, get you to sign a non-disclosure agreement, and then really dive into the financials after that. But the reason I like Serta Pro as well for resales is they have a good process that it's similar to what you would go through like when you're buying like a new Serta Pro franchise. So you really learn a lot about corporate. You get connected with their team, and then they actually have you like get under a contract pending you go through training. So you actually go through training before you fully sign and fund the resale, which I think is interesting. But so they really are like want everybody to get set up for success. They want you to like once you're done with training to just like dive right into the business, which I think makes a lot of sense. So I like how they handle their resales quite a bit. So anyways, their system overall has a really strong average unit volume for gross revenue. So locations that are open for 12 months or more had an average annual sales of just over 2 million, which is pretty strong, especially for a franchise with that many units. So I think, this one's doing 1.3 million. It's been around for a while. There appears to be an opportunity to, increase sales, whether that's hiring another salesperson, whether that's spending more in marketing. I don't know. You'd have to really, sign the NDA and learn more and talk to the owner to understand. But it seems like there is opportunity there to grow. And then, like I mentioned, they have very good training. It's 5 weeks, both online and in-person training. And they have a really strong retention rate among their franchise owners. So 90+%, which is very strong. So we like to see that. I mean, usually we like to see above 80%, but even for a franchise that has this many locations, to have a 90% retention rate or above is super strong. So I love Serta Pro. If you're interested in home services, this could be a really good fit.
Yeah, it's a great breakdown. Yeah, Serta Pro, just at least everything that I've heard and all of my experience are just quality overall, like a good quality. I guess this is what would you consider this like a blue chip brand if you use that phrase?
Yeah, no, it's an interesting. Yeah, definitely. I would.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. We have it on the landing page for the Franchise Buyers Academy.
Okay.
It's like discover how people are like making money using franchises you never heard of, like blue chip franchises. And I think I did a live stream. Was it last Thursday? And someone was like, "What is blue chip?" They actually thought I said blue ship.
Blue Ocean, blue chip, whatever. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean they have hundreds of franchisees, right? Oh yeah, 500 franchise units. I mean that's a lot. Um yeah, what's interesting actually to your point, and for those of you who watch who are interested in resales, there are although some franchisors may supply resales or show you, the resales that are available. Some of them have a very poor process in how they handle resales because they're not used to it. They're not used to doing resales, and so sometimes that can make the process of buying a resale challenging because the franchisor is not experienced in helping people through a resale process or experience helping people through a new franchise process. And buying a resale is completely different, very, very different in the way that you approach it on a variety of fronts, which we won't talk about here. Um, so yeah, I do like their process overall because they're basically like, hey, and before they kind of intro you to the owner and stuff, they want you to start learning about the brand first, which is, they're like, hey, we don't want just, window shoppers that are just trying to buy something and buy a business. Like we want you to be interested in this concept and make sure that's a fit, before you go diving into, numbers, which I think it's a smart approach. And it annoyed me at first. I remember one time when I had someone look at a Serta Pro resale back in the day when I was doing some of the like consulting stuff. But it makes sense when you think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're like a really fast-paced person, I mean, you may be a little annoyed, but I think to your point, every single franchise has a different process seemingly for these resales. So I actually appreciate the fact that they do have a pretty streamlined process. Because it is different. Like every client we work with, when they come through Franchise Empire, we tell them right away, like the resale process is going to be quite a bit different than just buying a franchise that you're starting for new.
Yeah, 100%. By the way, guys, in the meantime, like since we're here live, I was realizing that I've done kind of a poor job of saying this, but if you have any questions while we're on and while we're here live, drop a comment. Let us know what your question is, and we can answer it. And then if you're watching the replay, just let me know what city and state you're tuning in from, and that you're watching the replay. We love to know where people are tuning in from. Let's see, the righteous teacher. Hey there, Tarek. What it do? What it do, man? um, it is well. All is well. Let's see. So for those of you who want to check on number one, that you're interested in learning more about this specific franchise resale in Lubbock, Texas, or you just want to you want us to go out and see what franchises are available in your specific area, then you can go to franchiseempire.com/resales, and you'll be able to schedule a free call with the team to be able to investigate what's available in your area. And just to note, again, there's been multiple times where Kevin and the team have been able to source resales that were not publicly available on the market yet. So there is a bit of an advantage that we do have, and that's been showing up in just being able to source things that haven't hit the public market. So definitely worth the conversation if you're interested in resales overall. All right, on to the next. So although we don't have the testimonial video yet from Liz, I thought she would be the most fitting case study. Why? Why would she be the most fitting case study, Kevin?
Well, because she did end up buying a Serta Pro resale, so I think that's about as fitting as you can get. But yeah, Liz was awesome. I don't know if you want, I can give her background, or if you want to go ahead.
Yeah, no, you go ahead.
Yeah. So Liz, man, I feel like she's just going to crush it in this new business. But she was a director of operations for a franchise system, a food franchise, and managed a lot of locations, really helped the owner grow that business. And then she really wanted to branch off and do her own thing. Liz was extremely diligent in her validation process. Like, she had dove deep into several franchises, had worked with even a broker before she worked with us, and I was just super impressed with the level of validation that she went through, and checked all the boxes, made sure she did her research, made sure she spoke with a number of owners, went through Serta Pro's resale process, and then got to the point where she was meeting with the owner, built a great relationship with the owner before they even, closed on the deal. So, I was really, really excited for her. She's stepping into a great situation where it's a nice business, was making pretty good money now, but by all accounts from the average unit volume is probably opportunity to grow pretty significantly. And she got a pretty big territory. So anyways, it was a great situation for her. She's gonna do well. I think she's just getting started ramping up with her business. So that one is a good example of, she had tried other avenues to help find the right opportunity, came to us. We suggested looking into resales. We found a really good one, and it stuck. So very happy for her.
Yeah, and to me, this was really pretty interesting, the whole dynamic, because we were kind of both involved in, Liz's onboarding, so to say, and working with us, because she was quite skeptical about just working with us, and just the possibility of working with a broker, and was that actually, was she going to be pushed options or kind of sold on things. And what we've realized and learned through more and more conversations is there's a lot of people that have not had great experiences working with a franchise broker or franchise consultant elsewhere. And then, so, whenever they come to us, they're maybe feeling a little bit burned or skeptical, etc. And, we're not saying we're better than anyone. We just share our process, our philosophy, what we do. One of the things is, like, someone recently who came in said, I don't really want to be sold on opportunities. And I'm like, well, that's definitely not what we do. Like, we're not going to sell you on anything. Like, you're just going to, like, present the options to you, and then it's on you whether you're going to move forward or not. And I guess there are some folks out there that are pretty aggressive in pushing their stuff. So I think, what's cooler to me than Liz actually making the decision to work with us outside of her skepticism is, how we were able to deliver as a team and actually get her the result that she was looking for. And she didn't even really, I think at that point in time, she really hadn't known much about resales, or, that was really like a strong possibility, prior to coming and working with us. So I just think that's pretty cool. I love seeing people get the outcome that they came for. Boom. All right. Franchise of the week. Tell us about it.
Okay, so this one is called The Brothers That Just Do Gutters. Kind of a catchy name, but I actually really, really like this business. It's Oh, hello, AZ from where's she calling in from? Georgia. Okay, nice. So this one is called again Brothers That Just Do Gutters. So very niche business. They do gutter installation and maintenance. So a lot of times, like when I present this to people, they're like, "Oh yeah, I can't build a business from this." And I'm like, just hear me out. Like we'll walk through this. We'll pull up the FDD. I'll show you the Adam 19 and why I think that it is does have potential because it's such a niche thing, but like you get really good at offering this specific service and very efficient at it, and it's high margins and it's in a needed space. Like in certain climates, especially, people need to have their gutters fixed or maintained on a regular basis, or it causes really big issues. Water gets into your home, like where I live in Omaha, Nebraska. We get like snow that and ice that just like cling onto those gutters and pull them down in the winter, and they have to get fixed. I mean, it's a problem. So this business, that's all they do is they do gutter installation. They do those cover guards to get leaves out of there. They do like quarterly maintenance where they can clean out the gutters, or it could be once or twice a year. It really is depending on what you need. So there is like a reoccurring revenue element of this one as well. So you work directly with the consumers, but then you can also work with like home builders who don't do the gutter installation because they don't have like the equipment or know-how. So you can get like new construction homes that way. There's a lot of different ways to make money in this business. What I
What's interesting real quick is, so we're in Florida, Florida, it rains a ton. And when we first moved to Florida, we bought a house in Jacksonville as a new build, right? So, and there were no gutters on the house. It did not come with the house. So it actually is a common theme, even in like a state where you would think all the houses were built with gutters. And I think we wound up paying 4 grand, $4,500 or something for gutters. It may have been a combo with the outdoor, like screening in the lanai as well. But I had thought that was interesting. If I didn't have that experience, I might have been like, "Yeah, gutters, come on."
Yeah, it's kind of like window treatments. Like it's not going to typically come with blinds or anything. Like you have to do that yourself or whatever it may be. So this one, I like this business because also you don't need like, there's pros and cons to this, but this one you don't need super like licensed or skilled workers. Like you can train somebody how to do this work and install the gutters and like use the machine to cut them the proper length and things like that. It's not like a really like you're hiring an HVAC technician and paying them, $90K a year. It's a different type of employee. But when you first would start doing the sales as the owner, learn how to do that sales and manage your installers. And then once you start to grow, then you can hire salespeople, and then you're managing both of those teams. So I do think it's a scalable business. When you look at the item 19, it shows a strong business. So let's see, franchise outlets for the 2023 calendar year, the AUV was 1.17 million. And then it breaks down adjusted profit. Like sometimes when they say disclosed expenses, like I want to know what you mean by disclosed expenses, but still like, adjusted profit still shows pretty good numbers, and you'd want to know all the other expenses that would go into the business. But on the surface, I think this is a pretty strong business financially.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously, when you show that robust of numbers, yeah, 83. Oh, that's right. And they're the ones that listed individually. The item 19 is 83 pages long,
Yeah.
for every single location. So, you know, yeah, I mean, that's cool when franchisors are going above and beyond out of their way to really disclose as much information as possible. I like that, right? Because they're trying to support people and learning more and like not, hiding, which is cool. And by the way, hello TM Blur, said just joined ZTPF today. In case you don't know what ZTPF is, it's zero to profitable franchise. That's our core franchise buying system that we help our clients through in the process. It's a combination of online curriculum and working with Kevin and the team, and some calls that we do with our clients that I host, which is pretty cool. But anyways, Did you cover all these? Or I think you covered most of them. Was there anything you didn't hit on that you wanted to?
Yeah, I always just bounce around. So
That's all good. Go with the flow of the conversation.
that's just kind of my personality. But yeah, I did mention like you work with contractor, like roofers, builders, remodelers. It does like the thing is cool is like you have like a van or a small box truck, and it's a very like specialized machine that you buy to basically like cut the gutters. And so this
Mm.
isn't something where you know, a lot of like handyman are trying to do this because I do think it requires some specialized materials and like machinery to do it the right way. And which I like that. You know, there is a little bit of a barrier to entry, but some people look at it and like, oh, it's too specialized. I don't personally think it is, especially if you could get like a couple territories and build it, get enough, population count to build a nice business for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting business. I know there's one here in Orlando. I've seen them. I've seen them driving around. I've seen the trucks. So and Philip, thanks. What a kind compliment. We appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in. These are fun. I was saying to Kevin recently that whenever the times where he's out of town or something, I've had to do it by myself. I'm like, it's definitely not as much fun with Kevin. And he's the pro on doing the research on the brands too.
Yeah, I mean, Krista and I love to research all these brands. I mean, she's constantly like learning about and watching webinars on all these brands, and then gives me like caveats. So she does a lot of the research too, and she puts a lot of work into these. But yeah, it's what we do every day. I mean, like I love learning about all these new companies and kind of dissecting them and seeing if the business model makes sense or not. Sometimes we see like we're starting to have franchises approach us about like working with us, and I think it's interesting. Some are not as strong as business models as others, in my opinion, but we like to show you guys the ones we feel good about.
Yeah, in my opinion as well. I'm gonna start pointing out when you say it now that you
I
you
should
do
stop.
that when I say game changer. All right. Well, if you want to see if there's any of the brothers that just do gutters available in your market, it's been a fast growing franchise. So I'd recommend if this is one that you were intrigued about, definitely reach out sooner than later, like now. But you can go to franchiseempire.com/check territory. And you can schedule a free call to see what's available in your area, period, whether you're interested in this specific franchise or not. Ideally, you need to have at least $150,000 net worth or higher in order for us to be able to help you just with obviously the financial requirements that franchise systems have. And Ferris, hello from Tampa. Hello from Orlando. Tampa. I was going to be going to Tampa 3 weeks from now to do another Spartan race, but I jacked up my knee. That's not happening. So, anyways, Tampa's cool. Guys, I want to take real quick before we hop to the podcast. I just wanted to share that our Franchise Buyers Academy, if you haven't heard about it, it is up and live, and it's pretty awesome, by the way. So check it out. What we hear all the time is see the term blue chip franchises. But for those of you who want a one-stop shop place of figuring out how to make money owning a franchise, and you're confused about things like just the risks and investment to profit potential, the ratios that you need to look for when looking at franchises, whether you should consider retail or service based, how does it work with you actually scaling them up? Those are all things that we cover in the Franchise Buyers Academy. So definitely go check it out at franchiseempire.com/FBA. And at some point, we're going to raise the price here soon because we have it discounted all the way down to $27, which is pretty crazy. So I'd recommend. There's like 4 hours of content that took me over a month to compile, create, and actually is years of my experience. So think of it that it took me 4 years to put this together. But definitely go check it out and grab it. We've gotten some just insane feedback It's the most popular method that that people are deciding to work with us in. We literally have, let's see, can I say this? We have dozens of people joining a month. I can't say that because it is dozens. Soon it's going to be hundreds. So it's pretty exciting. So you should go check it out because I think it'll provide a lot of value to you as we review all of our clients and customers. And the reviews have been pretty excellent. Maybe next time I'll share some of those. Actually, that would be cool. I think that would make it a lot more realistic.
Yeah, I don't know if you can also share like some snippets of the content or like even I don't know. We'll have to talk about that, but I'd be curious because
Good idea.
it is a huge benefit. I mean, I just to give a real life example, I spoke with a woman this morning who filled out a territory check thing, and she did the financial spreadsheet and the assessment that we asked her to do before our meeting, and we had an excellent conversation. And she got clarity on like could she do it financially, which was yes, but like with a caveat of here's like the types of businesses we would recommend. But she was just drilling me with like amazing questions, like 20 questions. And I said, these are all awesome questions. And I'm happy to answer them. But like this FBA course is going to like literally give you the clarity that you're asking me for without like making any other commitment. So I was like, you're going to sign up for this. You're going to watch this. Me and you're going to meet again. And then we can decide what's the best path for you, because she was just like honestly having a hard time understanding if franchising was like the right fit for her right now. And I think that's another thing that'll really help with, like giving that clarity, because like I told her, like, we don't want to like waste your time or our time if it's not a good fit. And this course is so awesome. It'll help provide that clarity. So not to go on a rant, but I really do think it helps people quite a bit.
Yeah, 100%. Because we've had people go through it and they're like, "Oh, okay, thanks for that. I realize that it's not, it's not the path that I want to pursue at the moment," which is great. Like if you can, that was the whole point of this program, the Franchise Buyers Academy, which was for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, or you're just logging in. We're talking about this, the Franchise Buyers Academy, and yeah, because why, if you're going to figure out that it's not the path you want to take, wouldn't you want to know sooner than later? And, what we hear a lot too is people are just like, how much money can I actually make with this stuff? And how does it work? And what sort of time commitment? And it's literally break it all down in there. It just makes it so easy for you in getting the info you need. And the reality is, it's impossible for Kevin or myself, even in a hour-long meeting, right? Which like our initial meetings, we just schedule 15-minute to get quick questions answered. But there's no way we could answer you with the level of detail and nuance and talking through all the different circumstances. We'd be on like one Zoom meeting for 3 hours trying to talk through everything. So you get to do it at your pace too. So anyways, last but not least, Franchise Empire Show. I got to interview Dennis Schooley, who founded Schooley Mitchell as franchisor over 25 years ago. They've saved businesses over $650 million, which is pretty crazy. They're a cost reduction franchise, which is very interesting. But you can check out the Franchise Empire Show on YouTube. That's on a totally different YouTube channel, Franchise Empire Show, or wherever you consume your podcast. So Spotify, Apple Podcasts, any of those ones, we're there. Just look up the Franchise Empire Show. That said, Kevin, anything else to close on?
No, I'm going to check out that. I've met people from Schooley Mitchell. I've been impressed with their team. I think it's an interesting business. Like I want to watch that and learn more. I'm curious what the answer is to the question about what makes the difference between the top 10% and everybody else. But that's one, like, I wonder if like you have to be good at sales or if it's more anyways. But yeah, I'm going to check it out.
Yeah. Cool. That sounds good. Awesome, y'all. Well, thanks for tuning in. Again, if you haven't subscribed yet to wherever you're watching, definitely hit subscribe. Let us know where you're tuning in from. And if you have specific topics or franchises, by the way, that you want us to cover, let us know in the comments below. We'll start looking. All right. Peace out. Have a great day.